morning, YouTube. This is Quan here. Today I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. I'm going to attempt to give you a little simple let's play of a game that's been around for God knows how long. Star Trek Online. I have a lifetime account on there and also have the little Romulan perk packy whatever thingy. Yay, score. No big deal, but still. Just want to take a good brief look at all the changes that they recently implemented, in my long hiatus from the game. They've done a lot, but just to sit up here and give you a little snippet, little taste. And for all intents and purposes, it's not a bad game. The only thing I don't like, see, Star Trek Online has recently taken to something known as lock boxes, where these random boxes will drop whenever you kill certain creatures, or you might get them as mission rewards. But the only way to open them is if you pay like a certain amount of money in the C store for them, or the equivalency of it. There's two ways to go about it. Either you use a credit card and get the in-game currency, or you go to an exchange and you exchange another type of in-game currency that you get by grinding out missions, known as dilithium, at certain rates determined by the market itself and how people determine the prices, and you buy the Z points, as they call it, or Zenny, or whatever, or as they were referred to at one point, C points, as in Cryptic Studios, to get these items. To me, I just don't like the fact that it feels like a hustle. I mean, if you're going to be in a free-to-play game and it's a freemium game, no less, that means that you can also pay premium monthly or even a lifetime account to get certain other perks that normally people wouldn't get. I mean, if you're going to get that and you're going to go through all of that, why the lock boxes? Why can't you just sell the game straight? The game's ships, etc., whatnot, straight to the player. You know, to me, I find that an annoyance. But oh well, what can you do? Nowadays, every single company's got their own little greed is first mentality. Enough of the in-game politics. Why don't we get this situation started? All right, first things first. A cryptic logo. I remember for the longest time when this place was owned by Atari, that's all you'll see is the Atari logo, even after they were acquisitioned by Perfect World. Perfect World, not a bad company, but like I said again, their policies with this whole thing concerning lockboxes just gets on my last nerve. Anyhow, the mission in question that I'm going to try out today is a Borg mission. For those of you who are not really familiar with Star Trek, God knows why you wouldn't be, because, I mean, it's only been around for like ages. The Borg are a cybernetic race, and they have a gestalt, consciousness, meaning that they think as a group, you know? And so basically, the Borg believe that in order to perfect themselves, they got to find the best out of everybody, technology, everything, you name it, and anything is potentially theirs. Yeah, charming. So I'm going to be dealing with a mission where the Borg have taken some civilians, and now they're being, the civilians are caught in the middle between them and species 8472, aka the Undying, as they are referred to in this game. Now, I hate that name, but what can you do? Anyhow, and for those who are not familiar with species 8472 or the Undying, those happen to be from Star Trek Voyager. Star Trek Voyager, they had these little tripod walking aliens that were able to change shape, and they had organic based technology and lived in an area called fluidic space. They made several incursions into our space because of the fact that, well, quite out, flat out, they didn't like what they suspected incursions in their space, which actually was instigated by the Borg. Lovely. So basically, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. All right, it goes my ship, by the way. You're not going to see it because it's obscured by this dialogue box. All right, Franklin Drake, get out my way. No, no, I don't want your mission. Let's go on in and see what's popping. There we go. Any dialogue boxes that come up, you're more than welcome to pause during the video if you're looking at it and then continue reading on. I'm not in the mood to read every single dialogue box. Been through these too many times before. Anyway, let's do this. She's basically telling me, oh, there's a fight. Jump in, do what you got to do. Fight in orbit, blah, blah, blah. Me, I just say, screw it. It's on like Donkey Kong. Right here, I'm deploying wings of little fighters here that I have. I'm in a carrier. In this game, you got like, different classes. You have like science, you have engineering, and you have tactical, each with their own specific strengths and weaknesses. I'm playing a science officer, which basically does healing and misdirection, both in space and in ground. The ship I'm flying is also a science vessel, but at the same time a carrier, so that's kind of fun. You have different weapons in this game too. Like in the case what I'm using Polaron weapons. With the added advantage of energy damage, they also weaken power subsystems, which are these things right here. The power subsystems determine the strength of anything from over here your auxiliary power, which are your special skills, your engine speed, top speed, your shield strength, and over here your weapon strength. Okay, yeah, a lot of fun. Now, there's three types of basic weapons in this game, and they're broken into categories. Okay, you have projectiles. Actually, two. You have projectiles in slash anything concussive, which basically break down into two categories. Those are torpedoes. That's these right here, and mines. There are different types. Each one, are situational at best, what you could use them for. Energy weapons are broken down into two categories as well. You have cannons, which basically have, like very nice impact, high power, etc. and whatnot, but very fast power drain. Then you have your beam weapons, and your beam weapons tend to have moderate power drain, but not enough, oomph. But I prefer beam weapons overall because being in a science vessel, your power should be delegated more to using auxiliary power for your special abilities rather than your weapons. So yeah, you want less power drain. So there you go. This guy's telling me, okay, now that everything's gone, blah blah blah. Survivors, let's go down, etc. Beam down, yes, no. Now, when you beam down in this game, there's up to 5 players in the team if you decide to do cooperative. But at the same time, if you're playing on your own, you can bring away crew members with you that basically are NPCs that follow you around. In my case, I'm on my own here today, and I'm going to go and land on the planet and do what I got to do with my crew. But at another point, I'm going to see if I could do a live stream or even perhaps just, a pre-recorded video with other people and do special missions that tend to be tailored towards 5-man groups, for everybody's benefit so they could decide whether they like this game or not. Anywho, let's let my guy sit up here and set up what we got to do, and we beam down. Here's my away crew. Yeah, I know, it looks like I'm going to have a mutiny in my hands. I'm a joined trail that happens to have a Gorn, a liberated Borg human, a Riemann, no less, and a Breen. Yeah, that looks safe. All right, let's land on the planet and see what's up. All right. I mean, the gameplay is not bad. I mean, it's not Mass Effect / Gears of War type, for a lot of you running guns, gunners out there. I mean, it's serviceable. It's okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, learning how to spec out, meaning or set up the basic, setup of your characters for space and ground is a trade-off. You only have a certain pool of points that you can use for space and for ground, and so you have to sacrifice some skills to get one versus another. Oh, this is a lot of fun. By the way, You can use ranged combat as well as melee combat in this game, and they're broken down in several different ways. And there are different types of skills that you can use, and depending on the situation, some skills would be better than others. Now, since I'm fighting the Borg, I thought I'd just tell you a little thing that they got here that you might want to keep an eye on. See, the Borg here have really advanced compared to the Borg that you're used to on the television show. See, they can really adapt, relatively quickly to your skills. So I'm going to use what's known as a tribble of Borg, as very dumb as that sounds. That's going to basically enhance my ability to resist anything that the Borg could throw at me. Another thing that might be coming handy is to take a replicator and replicate a little item here that comes in handy. And what it's called here is the frequency remodulator. This little item right here, what it does for you is it cycles your weapon's frequency. And the reason that's important, simple. If you rotate your weapon frequency, that'll keep it from, that'll keep the Borg from being able to adapt to your weapons, thus making it hard for you, because trust me, they can be a pain in the neck. All right. Once they adapt to your weapons, basically they're nerfing your ability to do any damage. As annoying as it sounds, yeah, pretty much. Okay, give me a second. I have to equip this remodulator, and there you go. Like I said, it takes a while to set your skills up, and it can be annoying at times. There you go. You see right here? This icon represents the modulator. Now here we have a colonist that we saved, and I'm going to talk to them. They're going to give me a rundown that, the Borg are basically they have gotten everybody trapped, and yeah, we got to do something about their force fields. Because if we don't do something quick, well, drama. And here's my liberated Borg telling me the situation, breaking it down for me what I got to do and how I got to do it. You're more than welcome, like I said before, to pause the video and take a good look. At a later date, I'll probably, slow things down a bit for everybody who's not experienced, in Star Trek Online, because the learning curve, like I said before, can be kind of taxing. But oh, one more thing. I'm about to equip a special weapon that might be coming handy with the Borg. This is called the TR-116A sniper rifle. This rifle, for those of you that actually watched, if I'm not mistaken, it was Deep Space Nine, was it? Where Ezri Dax faced a Vulcan that was using this sniper rifle. I'm not sure if it was Ezri or Jadzia. And the thing is, they were using this sniper rifle to snipe people through walls. It would teleport the round at point blank range and then detonate. Well, this sucker right here, since it has kinetic energy and Borg tend to have a weakness towards it once you bypass their shields, they can't remodulate kinetic rounds. This would be a good weapon to have equipped as an auxiliary in case the Borg adapt to your main weapon and you don't have time to remodulate because the cooldown breaks down. You can serve to annoy the living crap out of them with this. Not to mention, if you notice, I got this going with a bat left, so he ain't about to play their drama. All right, there's a colonist and they're surrounded by Borg. Can't have that. Oh, another thing. In this game, if you crouch, it increases your accuracy overall and also lowers your threat. Comes in handy, when you're fighting from a distance. But at the same time, let's say if they send someone to melee you, they'll be able to crit you a lot easier, and they'll be able to do an exploit or an expose skill on you. An expose basically means to leave you vulnerable to an attack, and an exploit, well, you figure out what that means. Pretty much, yeah. Exploit means it'll take advantage of that. Little terms that, like I said, in time you'll get to understand their meaning. Now, if you notice, there's some Borg in these alcove. They don't seem to see me as a threat for now. Not exactly smarter than them, but then again, the Borg are like almost hive-like, insect-like. So, yeah, it's kind of like a bee's nest. As long as the bees don't see you swatting, they don't really care if you're by them. But once you start swatting around and doing something stupid, well, you figure it out. There's some species A472. I forgot to bring a special, shield that I have from another mission. See, because these guys have psionic abilities. So I could have had this special ability this special shield that basically makes me less vulnerable towards their attacks. And I made the mistake of not bringing it on this mission. Also, there's a tribble that makes psionic abilities less likely to cause you harm as well. Okay? And like I said, certain people you can bring on your away crew that may have more advantages than others. Like, okay, for example, when you deal with the Borg, one crew member, if you could get your hands on them, that make excellent, work against the Borg, would be photonic bridge officers, meaning they're holograms. So how are you going to simulate a hologram? So yeah, if you basically do that, bring a holographic bridge officer, it can make your life a little bit easier. Missions involving the Borg and even involving species A472. Okay, there goes another Borg in an alcove. Oh, if you saw a little dialogue message up here a while ago, that's that stupid lockbox garbage I was telling you about that annoys me. All right, see how the Borg are walking towards me? I'm going to cast a skill. It's called electrogravitic field, once known as gravimetric shift. It's kind of a root. It basically holds them in place. And then I'm going to hit them with an ability known as hyperionic radiation, aka geothermic vent. Causes kinetic damage, eats right through their shields. Comes in very handy. All right, let's check this chick for beam out. She doesn't exactly look too happy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be, in a place where they're going to take me to Radio Shack and replace my little bits with, things from the bargain bin. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. That wouldn't be fun at all. Not to mention, I think that the concept of losing your individuality, I'd rather become a zombie. At least then, you wouldn't even be able to think. You'd be feral. But in the case of the Borg, you have to imagine that being a Borg, you'd be semi-conscious of the situation. It's kind of a creepy thought if you think about it. Anyway, if you notice, the textures are not so bad in this game. I mean, considering, and it doesn't really cause that heavy of a load. Oh, right now I'm scanning this particle here, which you can scan, and they have a little mini game that you can use, and blah blah blah. These little particles, they can be sold on an exchange for a decent amount of energy credits, by the way, another currency they added. But also can be used for crafting materials, weapons, upgrades, etc. Basically, if it's not nailed down and you can put it to use, do it. Like I said, trying to explain all the intricacies of this game would just take way too long. But oh well. Let's see where we're going to go here now. Where is more crew? Okay, just to let you know, when you run in this game, it's a good way to to reduce the chance of getting a hold put on you. Holds are like any skills that'll have you pinned down. Very annoying. Like that electrogravitic shift that you saw me put on some, those Borg a while back. That right there, you can reduce the likelihood of you getting hit by it if you're running when they try to put it on you. And as far as this particular episode, as they call them, this is what they refer to missions as episodes. This one takes place late in the game, by the way. Though you do face the Borg early in the game, depending on what faction you start off as. Okay, I'm trying to find more bridge crew. that are in trouble. You notice they have a field up. Oh, just thought I'd mention, there's two ways to play this game. You can use your mouse along with WSDA keys and their number keys, or if you hit X, right? If I'm not mistaken, is it X? No, it's not X. Yeah, I think they disabled it. There was a shooter mode that you can use. Mhm. Let me see. Give me a moment. I'm going to check momentarily to see how to enable shooter mode. Auto attack, disable auto attack, blah blah blah, etc. and whatnot. Keybinds. Here we go. Yeah, RPG binds versus. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to see how to initiate shooter mode. Alright, it says aim mode is X. That's strange. It's just not initiating. Well, then again, this game I noticed has been fairly buggy for a while now in many respects. They really do have to work on that because it's kind of annoying when you're trying to, play the game and every single time they have a patch with something, they haven't really been doing a consistent job, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little bit harsher than others, but they haven't done that consistent of a job to me with keeping everything patched. Anyhow, we're gonna try to find some more crew here. It could be further out. Don't mind me coughing, people. I'm asthmatic, so I apologize if that's an annoyance there if I occasionally cough. A lot of alcoves here, huh? No, the drop distance is pretty okay, but even with a good system, you tend to get a lot of pop in. Like I said, they have to really work on their engine. What I would recommend actually is, depending on field of view, is to actually render frames ahead that fit your view distance with an additional 20 degrees viewpoint all around rather than rendering the entire scene, unless you happen to be in a mission with multiple players, then render the whole scene. See, this way at least they would speed up the game for single player, but bah, anyway, enough of that talk. I think we found them. There we go. Let's see. Now, if you see on occasion where the words adapted appear above a Borg, pretty much it's going to tell you that, yeah, they adapted to your weapons. And that's never good. Two things you could do. You could either switch your weapon, use the TR-116, which you could only get, by the way, by a certain edition that was sold at Target that they no longer sell. You could probably find them on eBay for cheap at one point. Okay. Another alternative is to use, of course, I told you, the frequency remodulator. Now here goes these little lock boxes. Yeah, I'm gonna pick these things up, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there might come a time where I'll use the in-game currency that I get for free every month because I'm a lifetime subscriber to occasionally open one of these boxes. Because I mean, you never know, you might get something good from it. But as far as like spending, money from my bank account, from my credit card in order to like get these things, I'm sorry, dude. To me, they just take advantage of people that are impulse buyers that also have a gambling addiction. I don't know. To me, it's kind of unethical, but whatever. A lot of people seem to be okay with it, though. So, if you notice, like I said here, the Borg really have done a number on this planet. You know, they've really done a number on it. I would not want to be in this, situation if I were these guys. I mean, it's got to be terrible. Okay, just to let you know, there's different categories of Borg. You got tactical drones, you got medical drones, you got regular ones, you got people known as infected that just recently got assimilated. Then, of course, you've got those heavy tax. Those are a pain in the neck. Watch out for them. They love to hit. Poor dude. That's gotta suck, like I said. There we go. Looks like I freed them. Yada, yada, yada. Destroy the generators. Go up in there and show them who's boss. Yes. All right, ma'am. Let's do this. And she's basically telling me what to do, so I'm going to do it. Now watch this. When you shoot those Borg generators, when I walked by before, if any of you paid attention, by the alcoves, there were some Borg around here. So odds are, if I go too close to those generators, I'm going to draw aggro and they're going to come out. Those medical drones, by the way, watch out for them. They tend to be the quickest ones to assimilate you. Now, these are different abilities that I have. Tricorder scan is good because that one leads a lot of weakness to them. You know what I'm saying? It weakens their ability overall. Now, you're going to notice that there's certain skills that have certain skill ranges for them, like they're capable of being used at closer range, farther range, etc. and whatnot. Keep that in mind when you use certain skills that you might have to get close. And this will come in handy when you do special task force missions because sometimes you don't want to draw aggro too soon. For those who are not familiar with that term, draw aggro means like, when your enemy decides to get aggressive and come after you. That's what draw aggro means. There we go. There's a lot of people that play Star Trek online, by the way, still. Even in the YouTube community, Zephyrnix, if I'm not mistaken, has an account. Not sure what his character name is, but yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he has one. He had, one of these days I might, when they put out some new missions and whatever, I might even, do a let's play with him if he's cool with it. Oh, look at this. Nanite infestation pro. That's a contagious debuff. That's a technology adapted by adapted from the Borg. It's a good way to annoy the crap out of them. Oh, notice anything about this guy right here? He's using a stealth module to reduce his aggro, which is good for him to sneak up. Very nasty stuff. You can even use grenades in this game. There are grenade satchels, etc. and whatnot. See, the way the game has skills on the ground, the way they're broken down is you have innate skills, and then you also have these little kits. Like, see this one right here? You put on these kits, and they'll give you a certain amount of skills depending on their tier. In this case, you have 4 skills. See? If I'm not mistaken, though, I think that the developers are going to eventually add kits that you can customize. where you can add certain skills, all based on certain traits that you may have and innate skills, which would be kind of good. Any little bit of customization is always good for any game. I don't think these guys are too happy. Just to let you know, when you're on the ground, it's always good to have a balanced team. You have one guy that's good at shooting, another one that's good at engineering-based skills. You have a nice healer. You get a debuffer, things of that nature. And if you balance out your skills, man, it makes your life a lot easier. Okay, I already broke down the shield. If you notice, I'm able to go in further. So now I got to go and find out, what to do as far as like rescuing trapped colonists. There's a colonist over there, so here we go. One thing I'm going to tell you right now that's going to draw a lot of heat from Star Trek fans when I say this. I wish they would have friendly fire on here, but with penalty. And where it incurs a penalty on yourself for committing it. Now you are like, why would I request friendly fire? Because the thing is, it's realistic. There are times in combat, if you're dumb, you shoot your buddy by accident, things are going to happen and turn out for the worse. So why can't it be inside this game? Why can't there be friendly fire? Now, of course, there might be people who grieve, but if you give a penalty to the person committing the act instead of the team, there's the trade-off. See? It'll tell the individual to check their fire. I don't know. Like I said, you never know with the devs. I even one time recommended to them that they should allow people to lie in prone position for sniping, and that the disadvantage would be an added weakness, to any type of melee attacks as a result. And they kind of shoot away the idea. I think it would have been awesome. It would have added a level of realism to the game. And boy, orbital strike. It looks like the species A472 are not too happy. Got to download some data. Well, I rescued the colonists, so that shouldn't be a problem. Looks like I got to beam them up to the ship. All right. We're out of here, people. If I have to beam up. Now, just to let you know, like I said, every so often you earn new crew members, as you've seen there. There's other ways to do it. You can go in the officers' exchange, as it were, and requisition them, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why they treat it like that. It should have its own exchange, with using something else other than currency, because it seems weird. It's like you're buying people. Anyway, I'm supposed to take out these little orbital platforms now, because these things are doing a bombardment. So I have to basically beam some explosives to them. Thing is, the species A472, they're not going to be too happy with what I'm doing. Knowing them, they're going to be like, excuse me, but we take kind of like obsession to what you're doing. You'll be like, dude, like, knock it off, that kind of thing. Oh, just in case. Yep, there they go. Okay. Back up a bit because those frigates are annoying. One of these days I'll take you on a tour of fluidic space where species A472 comes from. The only thing is they kind of watered down the graphics. At one point it actually looked pretty good. But, oh well. Well, and away we go. Right now, I'm calling in some holographic ships to do some damage. If you notice, very nasty. And I'm using something called a red matter capacitor. That comes from the collector's edition from the game. It's no longer around, but very good thing to have because it gets your energy levels boosted. Very handy. Now, there's different skills that you can use in space that different from the ground. Like if you notice here, evasive maneuvers increases your turn speed, your flight speed temporarily. There's like other skills. Like right now, I'm using a adapted Borg, an adapted Borg tractor beam. That comes from when you have all four kits from back in the day. They used to have the STFs for the Borg, where you earned a piece of the kit for each STF you did, plus one separate mission that was a campaign mission, and you would get like a whole kit for your ship. But they changed that now. Now you have to like grind out those missions repeatedly to earn like these little tokens in order to unlock them. I prefer the old system. That's what happened when you're an old head. You know, you prefer the old-fashioned way compared to the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, we're gonna go fly in here and see if we could take out this other satellite that's doing a bombardment. Beam explosives to track pull platform. And there we go. Look like the colonists want to talk to me. Alright, they need help escaping orbit. That can only mean one thing. You could expect the Borg going to give them some drama. So, being that the Borg are going to give our buddies some drama, I think they could use some backup, don't you think? If you look on my mini map, you'll see the general location I got to go to. There they come. Now I'm going to slow down and I'm going to zoom in so you can get a good look at who I'm following. See them right there? Those are little runabouts. And I have my stalker fighters. And here we have some Borg spheres. Yes, they come in spheres now. Why don't we show them what for? Nobody gave you permission. All your base will belong to us. That skill right there that I just shot is Tychon's Rift. That's a very nasty piece of work because it drains all energy levels over time. Very nasty stuff. You know, also, if you pay attention here, you can see my shields versus theirs. You have forward, aft, port, and starboard shields. You know, front, back, left, right, you know, left, right, or right, left, whatever. And once you sit up here and basically strip them down, it's a good time to fire off, you know, a nice torpedo right in there, which come in handy. And also, like if you do like a quick drive-by, you could even deploy mines. And there's different types of torpedoes too. You have your photon, your quantum, transphasics. You have tricobalt. In my case, I'm using something known as the Harpang torpedo, and that one was from the Planet Destroyer from the original Star Trek, the original series. I'm not sure if you remember that, but yeah. Oh, these guys are giving my civilians a hard time. I gotta get rid of these guys quick because they're causing way too much trouble. Well, at least there's no cubes around here. Those things are a pain. And command attack cubes are the worst of the worst. Well, not really. It's actually a step above that. This cigar-looking shaped version of the Borg. Looks like a mixture between a cigar and V'ger. All right, if you notice. Looks like their forward shields are down. Time to sit up here and play a little game of, hey, check this out. Say hello to my little friend. Oh, well. Looks like I took these guys out. Took a little while. See, like I said before, with science vessels, they're kind of sluggish for turning. So it's always good to take advantage of any skills that increase your maneuverability. If you're a Twitch gunner, I say go escorts. Or if you're with the Romulan faction, I would go like their bird of preys, you know? And even the bird of preys and raptors for the KDF also come in handy. But me, I don't know. I like a thinking man's game. I guess that's why I'm bored of military FPSs. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, even though I'd rather think my way through, you know? Twitch gunning doesn't get you anywhere. That's why I can't stand playing FPSs. Because you always get that moron that does a Leroy Jenkins and whatever. They don't believe in suppressive fire. They don't believe in like flanking. A lot of them don't believe in like sitting somebody out to take point, setting up proper sniper positions. They camp spawns. Hate FPSs. Really do. Anyhow, well, that's about it. Mission complete. Shuttles are clear. There's no hostiles in the area. Mission's done. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little snippet of Star Trek Online. I may have said things that got over some of your heads. Others may have not gone into detail enough. But I'll find a way to strike a balance next time in order to make things better for you. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a pleasant one. And until next time. I guess we're done here.